fans, Beyond Wrestling. This is Denver, Colorado, the man, not the place. Before we can even get to our first scheduled match here at the Charade Charity Chowdown, Johnny Miyagi has come out and issued an open challenge to anybody on the Beyond Wrestling roster, and it's the Wild Savage, Jaka, the former Johnny Mangway, that has made his way down to ringside to accept the challenge. Hear from some of the fans here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts on this very special edition of All Killer. They think that Jaka is going to eat Johnny Miyagi. Of course, Johnny Miyagi has not had the best of luck. That's probably putting it mildly so far with his career here in Beyond Wrestling. He's yet to win a match, and I don't really like his odds against Jaka as the bell sounds in this contest here at the Charade Charity Chowdown, an event designed to raise money for Charade after that horrific injury that he suffered in the ring back at Armory Amore. Certainly going to be sending a lot of positive vibes and hopefully some money his way to help him with his medical expenses. And I thought that as Johnny Miyagi was tossed in the air, that Jaka was looking for the choke bomb, but instead connecting with a headbutt and following up with that chop. Oh, just that thought echoing through the Bridgewater Knights of Columbus. Johnny Miyagi defenseless as Jaka continues with the attack. Johnny Miyagi having to go to the eyes. Now firing with a shot to the head of Jaka. And he's only done damage to himself. Jaka looking to continue the attack. And that open hand strike. Of course, we know that Jaka, the former Johnny Mangway, has taken a vow of silence until he becomes the #1 ranked wrestler in Beyond Wrestling. And it looks like Johnny Miyagi may be easy pickings, that Rolling Thunder headbutt. And instead of going for the pin, just driving those taped fingers into the face of Johnny Miyagi. Sight set on Miyagi in the corner. He comes charging in, but taking just a little too much time. Miyagi's out of the way. As Miyagi comes charging in, just ricocheting off that top steel cable. Slamming down to the mat. And I think Jaka's ready to go for the kill. Miyagi stumbling right into Jaka and sent right down with the Jumanji bomb. The impact into the pin, and that's enough for Jaka to pick up another victory, another point, and move ever closer to that #1 position. Jaka with +9 points, not too far away from the #1 ranked wrestler, Mark Angel, who we will see in action a little bit later on tonight. Now what is this? Sugar Dunkerton, of all people, getting in the ring and blindsiding Jaka. Well, I think that if he wanted to get Jaka's attention, he certainly did it. Now calling for the microphone.
I'm right here. I'm right here. Look at me. I'm right here. Let's talk for a second. You don't talk really, so I'll take care of it, okay? November, a year ago, tournament for tomorrow, you poked your chest out and you used me. You used me to step up in the wrestling world. Now you're in Wrestling is Fun. Now you're on the radar. You're some kind of savage with a haircut, right? With your ceiling missing in the middle. Let me tell you something. I make a lot of people laugh. I make a lot of jokes. I don't play about my career. I'm so serious I had to wear a collar. So I'll tell you what. If you're mad about it, if you're wrong about it, if you think you're the better man, I'll be out here later. I'll have my fighting clothes on. Why don't you come, Georgia Jungle? We'll have ourselves a little rumble. Yeah.
Wow, strong words from Sugar Dunkerton, issuing the challenge to Jaka for later on tonight. A rematch of their encounter from the tournament for tomorrow. And I think Jaka accepts. That's going to be an unbelievable matchup again later on tonight as Jaka goes to the back to prepare. next contest featuring the Big Cat, Scott Henson, somebody who made his return to Beyond Wrestling after a number of years, looking to face the most feline members of the Beyond Wrestling roster. Scott Henson we've seen in singles action in previous episodes of All Killer, going up against Jaka, as well as Sugar Dunkerton. But now today he's faced with a newcomer here to Beyond Wrestling. Oni the Leopard King. Oni looks a little bit familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But once again, Scott Henson faced with a feline opponent. And much like we saw out of Jaka, Oni also has those fingers taped. But he does not have the paws and the claws of the Big Cat, Scott Henson. Of course, we saw Scott Henson have his tail ripped off in his most recent outing. Of course, he had to spend a number of hours going under the knife, reconstructive surgery to have that reattached. So you're gonna wonder his condition coming into this match. But looking to end things early, and Oni's got a reversal, taking Henson down with that arm drag. Oni gets sent to the ropes, able to find another arm drag, and striking first. Tell you what, the way this Oni moves around the ring, I'm telling you, he's somebody that I recognize. But then again, there's nobody on the roster that I've ever seen utilize a Hurricane Rana like that. Oni, very aggressive in his Beyond Wrestling debut. Used to seeing him compete for interspecies wrestling. We've got two guys right here, half man, half animal. Scott Henson almost became the only winner of this match. Now Henson stalking his prey. Just firing that shot between the shoulder blades of Oni the Leopard King. Now looking to control the pace, rocking him with that forearm. Oni staggered. Scott Henson really taking his time right here. And as Oni tries to retreat to the corner, Scott Henson rushing in. And then we see those paws, those claws, trying to crush the throat of Oni. Of course, if you enjoy the work of Scott Henson, you can use the hashtag ROAR as is displayed on the back of his shirt, but he does not have a Twitter, so he will not see that. Instead, I advised, make sure to follow Beyond Wrestling on Twitter for all of the latest updates. That's at Beyond Wrestling. And this update just coming in, Scott Henson has not defeated Oni, in spite of the fact that he has really brought the fight to him. Scott Henson asked who the Big Cat is. But based on some of these shots from Oni, gotta think it's maybe him. Going for that ripcord clothesline. Oni's out of the way. Going for that pinning combination. But Scott Henson able to roll only to his feet. And now going back to the eyes. Henson with that critical lariat. But Oni with a reversal. Almost wonder if Oni had Henson scouted coming into this match. Oh, and just catching him with that palm strike. We heard Oni yell, Shote, and I'll tell you what, that was a familiar voice. Trying to get a better look at this guy. I didn't have any time to talk to him into the back. Seeing some of those, well, now that I'm getting a closer look at some of those tattoos, certainly looks very familiar. Oni fighting back up to his feet, but Henson's up first. Henson telegraphing that lariat once again. Look at this combination on Oni, followed up with a kick right to the side of the head. He's got Henson knocked out. Henson's on it too. So far, very impressed with what I've seen from both of these competitors. And after being on the receiving end of the punishment from Scott Henson for a number of minutes, Oni finally recovering. Although Henson finally nailing that ripcord lariat. Is that going to be it? Not enough pressure on the shoulders, not enough leverage on that pin. I'm going to think that if perhaps he was able to hook the leg, he might have had Oni beat. Now Henson growling, coming charging in. Flying across the ring with that elbow. Oni just shaking it off. Just running in with that flying knee. Now just setting up Henson. The center of the ring, and Oni's looking to fly. Oh, just driving the double knees into the chest. He got to knock the wind out of him. And Oni picking up the victory over Scott Henson. Tell you what, I like what I see out of this Oni character. Great elevation, great precision, driving the knees into the chest.
Oni, the Leopard King!
Oni adjusting his mask. What's Oni got to say?
Now I'm warming up.
Now he's warmed up. And we see him taking the mask off. I think he's going to have a match later on tonight. I think we're going to be seeing Oni, quote unquote, going up against Corvus in a multiple falls match, if I could speculate. We saw Aaron Epic compete in a 3 out of 5 falls match last time we were in Bridgewater. Truly the king of multiple falls matches. What I believe is a first-time encounter. We've got two of the strongest competitors, easy for me to say. On the Beyond Wrestling roster, they're going to be going head-to-head. As TJ Marconi, as he was just so wonderfully introduced, is going to be going one-on-one with Oleg Usurper. Of course, Usurper, ever since he's made his return to Beyond Wrestling in May, has been unstoppable, undefeated. And it looks like he needs a little bit of assistance taking off that protective armor. Of course, TJ Marconi has had a number of run-ins with Chris Dickinson ever since our all-aboard event in Long Island, New York. Chris Dickinson scheduled to officiate the match between TJ Marconi and Darius Carter. And, you know, we thought that Chris Dickinson was going to be an unbiased official, the same way that he was when we saw the Pit Boss and Matthew Justice against Johnny Mangway and Corvus Fear. But that was not the case. Dickinson looking to make his return to professional wrestling and targeting his longtime friend in TJ Marconi. They had a number of run-ins in the past, but I mean, those guys grew up together. Of course, we see a more serious side out of Marconi, really not trying to play into the antics of the Usurper. The bell sounds, it's Marconi that's retreating. Marconi perhaps looking to wrestle a more defensive style as he prepares for an inevitable rematch with Chris Dickinson. I mean, the last episode of All Killer, it was TJ Marconi versus Chris Dickinson, a nasty spill on the floor. Neither man could answer the 10 count, so you got to think that the issues between those two are far from over. Both of these guys well over 6 feet tall, got to be close to 300 pounds. Usurper challenging, some of the fans are on ringside. And Marconi saying that the fun and games are over. Usurper, he doesn't even have any boots on. Gonna think Marconi, if he's perhaps gonna be looking to take a shortcut, step on Usurper's feet. No, instead trying to use leverage to his advantage. Trying to pound Usurper down to the mat. Usurper using the strength of his neck to bridge to prevent his shoulders being placed to the canvas, but finding a burst of energy and trying to outpower TJ Marconi. Marconi now just bending the knuckles in the wrists. Usurper is at his mercy. Usurper planting the boot to the midsection. He's going to be looking for a choke slam. And this is really a battle of two behemoths, as each one of these competitors, in the earlier moments of this bout, trying to determine who is stronger. Marconi with a shot to the midsection. Now rocking him with some punches to the face, letting loose in the corner. And catching him with that big open hand strike. Usurper, he has a history of broken jaws. And you gotta wonder if Marconi is gonna be looking to target him. You know, the most recent time that we saw Usurper's jaw broken was actually in a contest against Marconi's former partner in Darius Carter. Marconi trying to get the support of the Beyond Wrestling fans here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. But Usurper's out of the way. You hear those shots. And I'll tell you what, that probably hurts like hell. Some signature offense coming out of the Usurper. Building up momentum off the ropes. Marconi just walking out of the way. Not nearly enough damage done to Marconi, but again Marconi throttling Usurper in the corner. And now firing away with some shots of his own. Oh! Usurper caught him good with that forearm. Marconi staggered. Looking to send Marconi off the ropes. Marconi trying to take Usurper down with that shoulder block.
I said that twice now, come on.
See Marconi starting to get very frustrated with Usurper. It's all business on Marconi so far in this match. Looked like Usurper was trying to cover up. Marconi sensing that with a shot to the midsection, and again Usurper is positioned back first in the corner. And Marconi continuing the attack on that solar plexus of the Usurper. Honestly, I've got to say I'm not entirely sure if that's the best strategy. You're almost going to wonder if Marconi taking Usurper down with that high angle suplex. You're almost going to wonder if he's going to be looking to attack the arm of the Usurper to try and take his strongest move out of his arsenal, the off with his head crossface. But then again, I mean, these two guys going back and forth, I'm sure Marconi is content with any opening that he can create for himself. And while he's got Usurper on the mat in this chinlock position for the time being, not sure he's going to be able to pick up the victory with this, but he can certainly plan his next attack. Usurper getting his feet under the ropes, necessitating the break, but now Marconi looking for that gut-wrench style suplex. Usurper trying to block. You see the way that he's got his arm wrapped around Marconi's back, now sending him off the ropes, and it looks like he's trying to pick him up, and able to connect with that backbreaker. Usurper arguing with the official. He needs to make sure to focus on the task at hand. That's going to be taking out TJ Marconi. Looking for another knockout shot. Now the point of the elbow to the top of the head. Usurper coming off the ropes and gets caught right in the face with that big boot. Marconi just mowing him down and trying to shake off the effects. He had the leg hook, but he did not clasp the hands. Now Marconi once again going for that choke slam, and has not worked to his benefit at any point in this match. Now Usurper again with his attempts to take Marconi off his feet. Usurper going uncharted territories. Usurper dropping the hammer. Marconi down to his knees. And finally Marconi down on the canvas. And from this position, Usurper looking to hit the off with his head crossface. If he hits it, it's going to spell certain doom for TJ Marconi. Oh, Marconi with the wherewithal to block that attack. Oh, the Sleeping Beauty punch. And he's got Usurper knocked out. Usurper's out, Marconi deliberating.
Guys, he's going to sleep. Shh. No, I want to keep playing with him.
Marconi really looking to send a message to Chris Dickinson. Now with that side slam elbow drop combination, the firepower as it were. And you got to think, even though Chris Dickinson's going to be preparing for his match later on tonight against Anthony Stone, certainly going to have interest in this contest. Marconi once again looking for the support of the fans here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. And finally is he going to be able to connect with that seated choke slam. We've seen him go for it at least half a dozen times. Oh, but look at the kick out of Usurper. What agility. Oh my God, and 300 pounds coming down senton style. Can't even believe that Marconi was able to kick out of that. Marconi, where is he getting the second win? While Usurper argues with the official, he turns right into the throttle. This time Usurper not able to find a counter and finally sent down to the mat. But how much has been taken out of Marconi? Marconi stumbling around. Took too much time getting to the pin, but we saw not a lot of energy behind that kick out from the Usurper. And now Marconi calling for it. He's going to be looking to use that Emerald Trojan, one of the newer moves that he's added to his arsenal. He's going to be trying to dump Usurper on his skull. Well, he's got Usurper on his shoulders. And hit Dickinson out of nowhere, hopping up on the ring apron. Oh, we saw that cheap shot from Usurper, kicking the leg out from underneath Marconi. Oh, it just clocked him. Kicking out the bad knee. And there's no way Marconi was kicking out of that. Just put him in position. And the fist right to the temple. And I'll tell you what, I can't say that I'm shocked that the issues between Dickinson and Marconi are going to continue.
Why music not playing? Bells and whistles and trumpets and trombones, all of things.
The winner of this match is
Usurper wants bells and whistles and trombones. Oh, Aaron Epic. Just a couple hours away from his match with Eric Corvus. Getting socked right in the guts. And I think Marconi finally realizing exactly what happened. He seems pretty pissed off. Honestly, I can't blame him. And he's calling the official back into the ring. I mean, you know, I honestly think that the official did his job. You know, who's to say that Chris Dickinson wasn't going to physically interject himself in the match? But I think Marconi can't let his frustrations get the better of him. Marconi's going to be careful right here. He should not be putting his hands on the official. What's Marconi doing right here? Come on! Marconi's thinking about it. And dropping Anthony Green with the powerbomb. He's still scheduled to officiate more matches tonight. And look at the strength out of Marconi deadlifting. Anthony Green off the canvas. Positioned him on his shoulder. And this is the maneuver that he was looking to hit on the Usurper. Calling out Dickinson. Oh my God! Oh my God! We're gonna need help out here. Anthony Green.
I think everybody should probably give it up for TJ Marconi.
Oh my! Anthony Green is out. Anthony Green must be seriously hurt right here. And TJ Marconi, I mean, nobody coming out to try and stop TJ Marconi. I mean, again, almost 6.5 feet tall.
I'm to the hospital, don't worry.
And almost 6.5 feet tall. I mean, who wants to mess with them? Seemingly besides Chris Dickinson.
I may win. I want to win.
Well, Dave Cole coming out ringside with Brian Fury. Yeah, and I think it's very important to point out that it's JT Dunn and Mark Shurman without John Harder. This is the first time that we've seen them in action at a live event since the Professional Revolution was forced to disband. And Mark Shurman with his own private cheering section here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Of course, in Armory Amore, the unbelievable contest between JT Dunn and Dave Cole. It looks like they have some unresolved issues. So Dave Cole picking one of the best competitors in all of New England professional wrestling in Brian Fury as his tag team partner. Of course, Brian Fury also the trainer of Mark Shurman. So there's a number of different elements to certainly keep an eye on as this match unfolds.
Should I do this? You want me to start?
Dave Cole and Brian Fury, two veterans of the New England independent wrestling scene. It's good to see that JT Dunn has finally turned over a new leaf. I think it's long overdue. And we see we've got a new official out here in Kevin Quinn calling for the bell. And he's going to do his best to officiate the action here as we continue with a very special edition of All Killer. We're going to be presenting the entire event from Bridgewater, Massachusetts over the next couple weeks at YouTube youtube.com/beyondwrestling. If you're watching this video and do not subscribe already, please make it a point. And if you want to support Beyond Wrestling, head over to lookmannofans.com. All of the latest information of our upcoming live events, and you can purchase some DVDs as well as t-shirts. You know, in this contest, we almost have two situations of teacher versus student. Mark Shurman trained by Brian Fury, and JT Dunn really cites a lot of his inspiration coming from Dave Cole. You know, claiming that he trained at the Dave Cole dojo. We've seen him incorporate that Tiger Driver into his offense as well. Brian Fury using leverage to take his much larger opponent and Mark Shurman in the corner. And we see a clean break. I think Mark Shurman perhaps having a bit of difficulty getting adjusted to, let's say, teaming with a fan favorite. I'm not sure that he really knows the best way to get the crowd behind him, let's say. Whereas Brian Fury, I mean, just based on his ability alone, I think that he's earned the respect of the fans here in Beyond Wrestling, as well as the other wrestlers. Dave Cole directing traffic as Shurman and Fury look to square up once again. Tying up. And Mark Shurman immediately caught that side headlock. Brian Fury really wrenching away right here. Shurman trying to find a counter. He's going to be looking to send Fury off the ropes, able to find that separation. And the shoulder block taking Fury off his feet. I think Brian Fury might be a little bit embarrassed. And Mark Shurman's pissed. I don't know what he's going to be mad about. He's got the upper hand. This time, Fury not allowing himself to fall into the same trap. Planted the boot in the midsection, now driving Shurman face first into the top turnbuckle. Sending Shurman for the ride, but Shurman explodes out of the corner with a clothesline. And again. A moment of hesitation, but following up with that Irish whip. And great elevation on that back body drop. Fury sent up and over. And before the sure thing could build up too much more momentum, Dave Cole bringing Fury to the floor. Dave Cole, the legal man, tagged in. And he's going to be looking to tie up with JT Dunn.
We died out a little bit quicker. I'm pretty sure I just got in the ring. I'm going to arrest Dave Cole, so we're going to...
Again, JT Dunn. Really a very strong following here, especially in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. And he's somebody that debuted for Beyond Wrestling about a year and a half ago. And the strides that he has made in improving his game might be second to none to anybody else on the roster. He may be the most improved wrestler in Beyond Wrestling. I think perhaps a distinction that could previously go to Jarek 120. Mark Shurman doing his best impersonation of a cheerleader. But it's JT Dunn still caught in that side headlock, trying to find a counter. Pressing away here at the face of Dave Cole. And now he's going to control that left arm, but there we see Dave Cole behind the official's back, pulling on the ponytail. And once again trying to do that, but JT Dunn applying pressure to that wrist. Dave Cole rolling through to try and alleviate some of that pressure. He's able to find a counter. JT Dunn quick to do the same. And for a moment, he had his much larger opponent down on the mat. Now with that hammerlock, trying to do damage to the shoulder. But that's an ineffective move on a competitor as large as Dave Cole. Now we see Dave Cole with that full Nelson applied. Pressing down on the neck of JT Dunn. Dunn trying to break that grip. Successful in doing so, taking Cole down with an arm drag. And again. And a third one. Now with the hip toss, and trying to add the impact by scooping the neck. Had the wherewithal to see Fury coming in and took him down with the drop toe hold. These two veterans get upstaged by the upstart. And now Cole and Fury bend the rules here, putting the boots to JT Dunn. Shurman just blasting him with that double clothesline. A meeting of the dummies, according to Mark Shurman at least. You might want to get a pen and a pad and write it down, because JT Dunn and Mark Shurman are here to stay. A sucker punch for Brian Fury, the 2-on-1 beatdown. Picks up right where it left off. We heard Shurman call the official an idiot. Sherman's going to keep his temper under control. Of course, we're so used to seeing John Harder in the corner of the former members of the Professional Revolution. You know, there's a lot more strategizing that Shurman has to be personally responsible for going into this match. He can't just be there to let John Harder coach him. Same can be said for JT Dunn. Come up with that nasty shot to the midsection. Now Dave Cole looking to continue the attack on the sternum. You see JT Dunn really struggling to get air into his lungs. Another situation where he may have had the wind knocked out of him, and I'll tell you what, if you can't breathe, you can't wrestle. It's as simple as that. Dunn, to his credit, showing resilience, trying to fight back. Dave Cole caught him with a kick to the head, tagging in Brian Fury. Fury with the forearm. Might have caught him in the shoulders, might have caught him at the base of the skull. Now Fury elevating JT Dunn, taking him down with that textbook backdrop suplex. Only good for a 2 count. Shurman doing his best to rally the fans, hoping that JT Dunn can find that second win, but he got tossed to the floor. And while Fury is taunting Mark Shurman, Dave Cole out of the sight of the official, choking JT Dunn. Still trying to make sure to take the air away from JT Dunn so that he can't breathe. And you know, if you follow JT Dunn on Facebook or Twitter, always bragging about the time that he spends in the gym, you've got to think that he might have better cardiovascular conditioning than anybody else in this match. So I can't say that I'm surprised to see Brian Fury and Dave Cole trying to make sure that he can't breathe, although I am disappointed to see these two veterans relying on those tactics. Dave Cole just charging in with the boot once again. Not sure if this is the first time that Dave Cole and Brian Fury have teamed, but so far they've been very effective as a unit. I'll give them credit for that. Now with that bear hug applied, JT Dunn's a good 10 feet away from Mark Shurman. Dunn trying to find an escape. He may legitimately have to give it up right here. He's in trouble. Dave Cole struggling to hold on. And I think that one shot to the back of the head. Now we see one to the face with the point of the elbow. Dunn can't capitalize on the distance that he created for himself. Dave Cole once again, I mean, it's hard to tell if he's holding his opponent by the back of the head or pulling the hair. But either way, Dunn sent back into the corner. Dave Cole psyching himself up. The psychedelic warrior looking to attack. And he came charging in to a thunderous boot from JT Dunn. Oh, but JT Dunn looking for the crossbody. And I can't believe he kicked out of that. He was looking for the crossbody, landed across the knee of Dave Cole. They got dumped on his head. Once again, we see JT Dunn sent to the floor. We see Kevin Quinn questioning Dave Cole's motives. But I mean, as we can obviously see, Brian Fury with the t-shirt wrapped around the throat of JT Dunn. And Mark Shurman's in the ring. We see Kevin Quinn, the official, trying to get him back to the apron. Dunn's still alive. mean, Dunn has been on the receiving end of this punishment. It's got to be going on close to 10 minutes, pretty much a 2-on-1 attack. I'm really not sure, even as resilient as JT Dunn is, I'm really not sure how much more he's got left in him. Well, we saw Fury and Cole focusing the attacks on the front of JT Dunn. Now trying to attack the back as well. JT Dunn landing on his feet. And that kick catching Brian Fury, enough to take him down. And Mark Shurman chomping at the bit to get tagged in. Not only is JT Dunn a good 10 to 15 feet away from Mark Shurman, he's also got Brian Fury between him and his partner. Oh, I think that kick really rattled Fury. Looks like he's trying to tag out to the wrong corner. I think he realizes his mistake, trying to roll over to Dave Cole. But Mark Shurman finally tagged into the match, taking Dave Cole down with that clothesline and that back elbow. And with ease, slamming Dave Cole down to the mat. And look at the agility out of the sure thing Mark Shurman. Can't say I was expecting that. Maybe I'm the one that's the dummy. Able to avoid contact on the clothesline. Dave Cole going for that cross body. And Mark Shurman wanted to make sure that the cameras perfectly captured that overhead throw, that fall-away slam. While Brian Fury's in there to break it up. And you're almost going to wonder if Dave Cole would have been able to kick out of that had Brian Fury not broken up the pin. Now Brian Fury catching Mark Shurman with an inverted atomic drop. Might caught him a little bit low, but I know it caught him high, and that was the boot out of Dave Cole. Some good tandem offense. I mean, Dave Cole knew where his partner Brian Fury was, hooking the leg. He was smart to keep himself in a position where he could keep his eyes on JT Dunn, but he was unable to get out of the way as JT Dunn caught him with the boot. Now the flying forearm to Brian Fury. A little bit of a miscommunication between Dave Cole and Fury. And Mark Shurman charging with a big splash in the corner. A lung blower, and the combination right into the clothesline. Mark Shurman and JT Dunn have this match won. That was close. Of course, we talked about how Aaron Epic hadn't been involved in those multiple falls matches. But of course, his opponent being Dave Cole. Dave Cole has really showed, especially the fans here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, just how tough he can be. Was able to fend off the Shurplex long enough for Brian Fury to get himself involved once again. And now it's Fury and Dave Cole putting the boots. Oh, JT Dunn misses with the big boot, gets Cole with a super kick. And look at the elevation of that pop-up power bomb. Fury and Cole have him beat. And now instead of going for the pin, I mean, sending Mark Shurman to the floor, we hear Kevin Quinn saying, one of you guys in, one of you guys out. With all the damage that had been done to JT Dunn earlier in the match, I'm not surprised how rattled he is from that pop-up power bomb.
I think we made our point.
You hear Dave Cole and Brian Fury saying that they made their point. Go for the pin. You got your man beat. I don't really understand what's going on right now. It seems like Dave Cole and Brian Fury came into this match with a premeditated plan.
We don't have a champion. What do the rankings matter, Shurman? What do the rankings matter?
You hear Dave Cole saying, what do the rankings matter? We don't have a champion. Who cares if you win or lose?
What? We're going to lose? We're going to lose?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dave Cole apologizing because his team's going to lose. Dave Cole and Brian Fury are really walking out. They had this match won. What kind of a statement is this that they're trying to make? Well, I mean, JT Dunn and Mark Shurman winning by countout, but I don't think that that's a result that either of these guys are happy with. I mean, what does that really prove for them? You know, they wanted to come here and show that even without John Harder by their side, they can take care of business. We saw as JT Dunn missed with the boot, got caught with a super kick, and Brian Fury popping up JT Dunn almost to the ceiling. The impact of the pin, but then we see him move away. He could have had the pin at that point. And, you know, honestly, I would have to consider this to be a very troubling turn of events.
Shurman, that's a lack of respect.
We hear JT Dunn saying that it was a lack of respect out of Dave Cole and Brian Fury, but I think that was the exact message that they were trying to send. Shurman thanking the fans here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. He helps his tag team partner, JT Dunn, who took one hell of a beating in this match.